Hey folks, JT here. We're gonna cook the redfish that we caught this morning, 24-inch red. I filleted it like 30 minutes ago. The thing was swimming 30 minutes ago. So I'm gonna show you the easiest redfish recipe on the history of the planet. It's super simple. You really only need 3 or 4 ingredients. You need a little bit of olive oil, some Prudhomme Redfish Magic. You can also use Tony Chachere's original Creole. This has a little bit more fire than Redfish Magic. I personally use Redfish Magic on the fish. I keep this at the table to add a little bit more fire and heat if I want it. Some butter, and use butter. Don't use real butter, not the fake stuff. And a little bit of canola oil or something to spray lightly into a cast iron skillet, which you're also going to need to cook because we're going to cook it outside on the big green egg because it tastes great and it doesn't smell up the house. So easy, so easy. Get a little bit of olive oil, dribble it on the fish. Doesn't take much. This is really just to get the Redfish Magic to stick. Spread it around with your finger. You're just trying to get it's not rocket science. Just cook the fillet. Super simple. This is getting cooked on a half shell. So here's one of our fillets. It's a beauty. But the skin and scales are still on. Seems kind of weird, but when you cook it, you leave the skin and scales on because taking them off, honestly, when you're cleaning is a giant pain in the ass. And once it's cooked, the meat just pulls right off the skin and scales like magic. So then you just sprinkle Redfish Magic quite liberally all over the fillets. Just a fairly even coat. Also doesn't really matter. I mean, more makes it spicier, less makes it less spicy. Like I said, this isn't rocket science, folks. Oh, this is gonna be so good. So that's it. That's what they look like when they're sprinkled with Redfish Magic. A little bit on the edge. Why not? Because I can. Again, you can also use Tony Chachere's, a little bit more fire. I like this best. Try them both, see what you like. Now you get a stick of butter, and you're going to cut pats of butter. About yay thick. You don't have to measure. Just cut them, and you're going to lay them, and I'll show you what this looks like in a minute. And lay them across the fillet. And it's going to take a whole, whatever this measurement is, stick of butter for 2 fillets this size. Smaller fish, obviously, you might use 1 less pat. Bigger, you might use an extra. Oops, it's not going to take it all. I had that much left, and this is all I've done. Easy peasy. That's going to go in the cast iron skillet. I give it a little shot of canola oil just to help keep the skin from sticking. Not super necessary if your cast iron skillet is well seasoned, that one is, but it can't hurt. It does nothing for the flavor. It's just going to make it clean up easier. That's it. That's the total preparation. Now I'm going to go preheat the cast iron skillet on a big green egg. We'll throw the fish in it later after it warms up, about 15 minutes. And the fish cooks 12 to 18 minutes, depending on the size of the fillet. You do not want to overcook it because that will dry it out. Just get a fork, a regular old kitchen fork, and when you cook it, if you can flake it super easily with a fork, you stick the fork in it and it just flakes, then it's done. If you stick the fork in and it doesn't flake, it's not done yet. Shut the lid and let it cook some more. This is stunningly simple. So I'm going to cut the video, and hopefully it's not too dark outside, and once it's cooking we can show you what it looks like there. Thanks. Easy peasy. Okay, we're back. Now we're outside at the big green egg. It's heated up to about 325. You can cook this redfish 300, anywhere between 300 and 400. It really doesn't matter. Over 300, less than 400. If it's closer to 400, it won't take quite as long to cook. You know the drill. So we open our big green egg. You should always burp a big green egg or any closed grill to make sure you don't get a flare up. There's our preheated giant cast iron skillet. I hope that shows up, but it's getting kind of dark. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this little piece of butter, the end of the stick that we had left from prepping the fillets. Again, not really necessary if you have a nicely seasoned cast iron skillet, but you know, you can't really have too much butter. Get that to melt. Coat the bottom. This is probably the hardest part of the whole deal, is getting the fillets in there without losing all the butter pats. And if you lose one, it's not the end of the world. And you're just going to set this on the grill or in the pan, skin side down. That's perfect size pan for a 24-inch redfish fillet. Get our other one in there. And it's cooking. Cook this on direct heat, but with the lid shut. That's really it, folks. We'll come back. This will take probably 18 minutes. These are pretty fat, long fillets. We'll check it in at about 15 and see how it looks. Don't open it up, because if you're looking, you're not cooking. Okay, we're right at 17 minutes. I'm gonna grab a handy dandy barbecue glove, because you do not ever want to touch your wrist to the edge of that cast iron skillet. Ask me how I know. So I just stick the fork in. You see how easy that flakes? Hopefully it just flakes right out, right? That fish is done perfectly, I might add. So we get our spatula and our tongs washed or replaced, because you want to practice good food handling, and you don't want to use the same things as you put the raw fish in there with. There's one fillet on the plate. There's another fillet on the plate. That's it, my friends. That's all there is to it. Blackened redfish on the half shell. I'll shut this down, turn everything off, and we are going to dine. See y'all later. Whoa.